We're good.
Hello and welcome to the 2K Fantasy Premier League podcast. It's I'm your host Chris with K, and me and Kev are back on YouTube. Fingers crossed the sound will work this time. We have practiced, and we even have a little presentation with a few bits to take us through. But before I dive into that, what's on your coffee cup, Kev? It looked like a picture. Oh, you have to show us now.
It's like my whole family at a Canucks game.
Oh, sweet.
Got it for Father's Day.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Is that the picture you stuck on Slack that time? I'm sure I've seen that picture before.
Maybe. I don't know. It was like the Vancouver Canucks like official team Twitter like came and took that pic, and it was on there, whatever. Because we were away, we were down in Buffalo, and it was like a matinee game, and our whole family was there, so it was early. And we just went down to the Glass to watch them warm up, and this random guy's like, "I take your pic." I was like, "All right." Nice. And then people in Vancouver were messaging me like, "Oh, you guys are like
stars
all over their social media."
Social media stars, nice.
Yeah.
So we are recording this on Monday, 1st of September, 3 p.m. UK time. So it's what, 10 o'clock for you, Kev?
Yeah, we've been down here since 9. I went up to get more coffee, and I was like, "We haven't even fucking started yet." And she's like, "Oh, I thought you were done."
So game week 3 finished yesterday. And it's transfer window day today, and quite a few things are moving as we talk. It closes in about 5 hours time or something like that. But I think most of the big moves are probably pretty much known at this stage. What we thought we'd do is have a quick review of our team scores. Obviously, we got the same score again as Kevin and I always do. That's 2 weeks in a row, man. We've got completely different teams, but we'll actually stick them on screen in a second. I've got a question for Kev, and then I am on wildcard, but I'm not going to say what I'm doing yet because we have so many questions and they cover wildcard anyway. So I think it will just be answered as part of that.
You're not going to tell me at the very end at least who you have, or are you just on price movers?
Oh, I can tell you kind of where my head's at, but I'll throw that in at the end. But as things often happen, I may change my mind during the pod anyway. Right. So, Kev, did you want to stick up our teams? Show how the scores went.
Yep. So I guess you can't see this shit, can you?
But you just tell me whose team is it?
I don't know. The score's the same. I see Lacroix first bench. That's me.
That's you. So you can take us through how the wild card went, Kev.
Sure. Yeah. So 63 points. I don't even know if that's a green arrow.
Definitely
a green arrow. Yeah, exactly. 1,053,000 game week rank, and I'm pretty sure anything like, I think the game week rank of like being a good game week in general is around 1 million or better.
Yeah,
maybe 1.5 million or better. I don't know, somewhere around there. You're going with gray arrow and green arrow, right? You're in fucking 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's not good. So that's kind of how it works, and where I ended up with my wild card is this premise, which will be discussed during the questions quite a bit, it looks like, is I wanted to take as much money out of defense as possible and put it in attack.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden you just get like 4 points for Alderete not keeping a clean sheet now because he fucking kicked the ball away 10 times. So, I mean, it's 2 points less than a non-defensive contribution defender keeping a clean sheet. It's like almost the same fucking thing. They get any bonus, any attacking return at all, get a clean sheet, they're getting more points than like fucking Mo and Saka now. So it's kind of crazy. But I mean, I got 4 million Leeds guy, 7-pointer, 4 million Sunderland guy, 4-pointer, 5.5 million attacking return wingback guy, 4-pointer. Irony is because they're from defensive contribution points, which he never gets normally. So that was a nice little bonus. Tough part was Lacroix, who I think is like Tarkowski level unreal at this for $500,000 cheaper, and looks to me like Palace might even be a better clean sheet team going forward. We'll discuss that. fucking on my bench, only because I thought, Sunderland has the home game, and I do feel like they could keep it clean there. And if any of these promoted teams at home do keep it clean, I just feel like they're going to be on a haul, these defenders like Rodon's, right? So irony number 2 is Lacroix got an 11-pointer, not because the defensive contribution points, because he got an attacking return. And Munoz, the attacking fullback that I don't want to spend more money on, got the defensive contribution points and no attacking return. So it was kind of a weird game that way. And then update, turns out Lacroix has actually been bumped up to get the defensive contribution minimum of 10 for the 3rd game in a row. But because it was the last game of the week, FPL aren't updating it. So it should technically be 13 points on my bench. 13 fucking points, dude. You would think the guy got like a brace. He just got an assist and a clean sheet and like 2 defensive points and bonus.
Yeah,
so many avenues to points now for these fucking.
Well, the thing is, had he got the defensive those extra defensive contributions, he may have got more bonus.
That's true. So maybe it was a 14-pointer because I do think he got 2 of them. Mark Gahey scored, so it would have been tough to overcome that. Rest of the team's pretty straightforward, man. I mean, I also have a Esteve or whatever for Burnley. Reason I went with him over that Ekbal guy is because that Ton Zabi guy's there and played in the League Cup game, and apparently he's nailed over that other guy. So Esteve's nailed.
Right.
And Twanzebe sounds like he's the other nailed. The other guy that's been playing and has slightly more points, and I see he's being transferred in, I don't think is nailed. And also Twanzebe, I don't know how his fucking name's pronounced. For you, Chris?
Tunazabe.
Sure. He's about to drop to 3.
He's the ex-Man U guy, right?
He was at Ipswich last year, I think. But yes, you're right. I believe he's about to drop to 3.9. So that's a monitor for your bench boost or a wild card if that happens. So that's the D. Keepers to me, I explained last week on the pod. Rhea almost kept another fucking clean sheet. Saliba, Gabriel, all those other guys. I mean, it takes fucking Timber to get 2 goals and an assist to have a big game. Calafiori has to score to have a big game. These guys are not getting defensive contribution points. I don't think it's worth 6 million just for the Arsenal clean sheet with potential attacking return here and there. And after they have a week where they score a goal or get an assist or do whatever the fuck Timber did that he's never going to do again, everyone's going to want him. They're going to look unreal and all that stuff. And then as 10 weeks go by, Rodon's going to be like 7-pointer, 4-pointer, 7-pointer, 4-pointer, and he's going to be right there with them. So like in any given week, if somebody gets a big attacking return score, they're going to look sexy as fuck and people are going to chase it. But I'd rather have that 2 million and like, hey, you have Mo and Holland and João Pedro, and I'm going to turn Wood to Gio in 2 weeks, and Grealish and Semenyo. I don't need to sacrifice any of these guys. My only regret is I wish I went Bruno over Semenyo. I could have done it. The difference would have been I wouldn't have Lacroix and I wouldn't have Pedro Porro. I would have 2 4.5 million guys instead, which would have been most likely Tosin. And then I couldn't really find another 4-5 right now that I loved. I know Sanisi was there and I looked at him and I was borderline just going to start with him. And then if Bournemouth ended up signing Disasi or whoever it is they're going to sign today, I just deal with it later, and I would have been on a fucking like 90-point week if I did that. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. It is what it is.
Always the case.
Yeah, I'm happy with the team. I mean, I just don't see Holland and Mo going anywhere for me at all. Like, there's no need to ever take on that risk now that I don't need to. Where would I use that money? I can have Bruno and Gio in this team without giving up Holland and Mo. I mean, maybe at some point if Palmer and Saka come back and their must-haves or whatever, maybe it's debatable, but it's definitely not going to be to like get Nori and Gabriel.
Well, I think Isak might change the mood music. That's kind of on my mind when it gets to the wild card.
Good.
So I think
good segment.
So
I'll turn to your team now.
Yeah. So obviously I got 3 points as well. I think the only 3 players we have, to be fair, we have 5 players the same because we've got Pedro, Pedro, Semenya, Haaland captain, and Pedro, both Pedros. We have João Pedro and Pedro Porro. I'm happy with my team. I was never gonna play Rodon, who got 7. It was never on my radar. He's third on the bench. Obviously, it's Kev's fault because he didn't tell me he was starting him. If I'd known that, perhaps I would have started him. Forest absolutely, because I wasn't watching the game. I was watching something else with the family, and then I saw Forest. I think they had a clean up to 80 minutes. I was like, oh, this could be quite good, and then just fell off a cliff. Like they didn't even just, at least they let 3 in rather than like a dodgy penalty again or something. But
yeah,
I guess I always knew. I guess the thing I was most pleased about is I was very tempted to sell Palmer and buy Cunha. That would have been the move. I wouldn't have gone Boomer. I was going to go Cunha.
Tragic, man. You're so far ahead not doing that.
Well, it made no difference in points because Williams came in for me with a 1-pointer, but it saved me a transfer.
Yeah.
So it means that when I get into game week 5, so that's my post wild card, I'll have 2 transfers in hand.
I guess
and my plan, yeah.
The slight benefit would have been monetary. You'd probably be up 0.1 or 2 or something. Because Palmer.
I'd be up 0.1 on Palmer. That'd be it.
0.1 on Cunha, which is he's no way he's going up again now. So it would have been.
No, he's not going to go up again. Well, he's got injured, didn't he? So he's not going up again. And it's quite hard for players to jump up twice in a week. You don't get that many that jump up twice in a week.
Yeah. I had all these price movers in, and the only one that did it for me was Semenyo, who I ended up keeping in the end. Exactly. So it's kind of irrelevant.
So yeah, I'm happy with 63. I was saying to Kev before he started. I mean, my biggest regret is more game week 1 when originally I had a Gyökeres wild card Gyökeres team, which would have meant I've had Reindeers in. I would have had other players in that would have got more points. But
they just it is what it is. The breakout already. Who knows? I mean, like Reindeers have fucking done basically nothing since then, and he might start dropping in price now because people are impatient. And
to be fair, I mean, Rice has been good for me. He's got 664. I mean, that's solid. I mean, he's done all right for me. He's got more points than Gyökeres. So it's less about that. It's more that Fulkrug's done really badly. And I mean, I was saved by Bruno this week because my whole thing of not having Gyökeres was to get Bruno in,
right?
And in the roundabout way, it saved me a transfer now. So anyway, it is what it is. I can't complain. I'm about 300k overall, but I mean, it's so tight at this stage, and it is slightly masked by the fact that I played my bench boosters. I know you have as well, Kev. But then I think more people would have played a bench boost at this point than normal anyway, certainly compared to last season, right?
We have so many chips. There really isn't like a right or wrong way to do it. No. I went super aggressive. You know, I know my rank's gonna be a little inflated right now because I've used my bench boost already. But I mean, the free hit wasn't great. I bet you there's gonna be worse free hits than that. I got 12. I bet you there's gonna be worse free hits than 12. I bet you that whenever anyone uses their wild card, it'll be fine. Just like it was fine for me, it's gonna be fine for you. And it's because that's sort of how I've like set up my team to fucking do it, right? I would have had different players game week 1 and 2 to now if I didn't, and my score would have been lower or higher based on that as much as the chip. So it's like this fucking parallel universe you can live in, but it is what it is. I think to me the greatest thing, which is a good transition in what you're about to do, I haven't seen the question of the week, but after that, I mean, is I think the biggest thing is the sooner you realize about how important these defensive contribution points are in these cheap players, the better your rank's going to be. That's my thought. Like if you're still bringing in fucking Kukurea and 8 Nori and Saliba, or not Saliba because he's hurt, but Gabriel, it's going to hurt you up front. And I don't see a hugely beneficial reward for going expensive on the back.
I mean, so ultimately, what you need is a C-bit guy who can attack and also get clean sheets. That's kind of, and is it worth paying a premium for that? And that's kind of where my head's at.
You know who I'm seeing? Another 4.0 Goodmanson. It's like I almost regret.
He's injured, by the way.
4.0s. I know he's got a yellow flag. I almost regret not going him as well. He got a fucking 9-pointer. Like, dude, 4.0s are like fine. Let me ask you this. You just said, hey, I'm happy I went with Rice. You got 6.64. That's good. What's bad for Rice then? 2.23? Like,
well,
this-
it's
these fucking
it's good
defenders
compared to
getting-
Geo. Is kind of what I was going for.
These defenders are getting 4, 4, 13, 7. Anyway, that's my big thing so far. Glare, and like I've noticed that not everyone seems to be thinking that way, and I think the sooner you think that way, you're gonna have this little anomaly where you're benefiting from it before the entire game starts copying that. Personally, I don't know.
And I think that's the first questions that you've got coming up. So we'll come back to that.
All right, what are we doing next here?
I think we have a league, don't we? We have the league. So
do you want me to read it, seeing as I can see it?
Yeah, go for it.
2K FPL podcast. Report offensive name. Any offensive names we need to report, Chris?
I mean, well, you remember last year when I was Cryptic Chris's club and I got reported because it was 3Ks. And I was just like...
That's insane, like without really knowing that.
Yeah,
Any of those?
I mean, yeah. I'm not sure everyone will necessarily... Yeah.
So number one is Kelly's hero, Steve Kelly. Probably not loving his game week score of 47, but just cruising at 206 overall. I mean, to put it in perspective, I'm at like 400 KOR with 187. So I can't just click around here because this is a PowerPoint, but I'm assuming he's fucking sitting pretty with like 50K or better OR. Then it's the Big Max, David McDwyer, 73 points this week.
And he bench boosted.
Did he?
So if you remember, you remember we had this debate last time, should he bench boost or not? And he did.
So what did he get? Do you know? I can't.
He got 16 points. He got 16 points on his bench. He had Sanchez, Anderson, and Van Dijk got 8 for him.
See, like Anderson alone would have probably got a 4-pointer from CBIT. It's
but he only got 2. He only got 2 though.
Why do I even talk about this stuff? I don't even know what I'm talking about. Okay, so Sean O'Connor with 61 points, 192. Like that's Sean.
Yeah, that's our Sean.
Wow, good for him, man. Nice. Then you, 191, and then me, 187. Then Rob Cosgrove, 184. Graham Clark had a nice 76 points here and he's at 179.
And that's without a bench boost. So what nice job.
Must have had.
You got the Dewsbury Hall 12 and the Bowen were kind of the standouts for him.
Dewsbury Hall 12. Jesus Christ. What should we just have all cheap players? Seriously. Kenzie United, K Newman, 58 for 175. Top Team United, Gareth Jones, 67. Like, how far do you want me to go down here? Down.
I think we just do top 10. Top 10.
Okay.
Sorry, Barry.
So Dara. Yes. You needed one more point, dude. 176 for Dara. Would you say Dara or Dara? Downtown TT. All right. Nice. So next.
Question of the week. So Kev, you'll love this question. So the question is, so if you played every single minute, you play 3,420. That's 38 games of 90 minutes, okay? The last 3 seasons, what percentage of those minutes has Isaac played?
I don't fucking know, man.
What
kind of question is this?
It's a question to make a point.
Minutes. I know he's had some injuries for sure, man. But I mean, last year he had a lot of fucking goals. Same with the year before. Well, the year before I think was like he actually missed quite a bit of time.
So he's been at Newcastle for three seasons. Yeah. Obviously he's now going to Liverpool.
And last year was like his almost got the golden boot year, right? The other ones were good. I mean, he's always been good, but last year he was like great. So I'll go, I don't know. It's going to be more than 50, I think, even though he didn't miss a significant chunk of time just because last year was decent for minutes, I think. But no, I'll go like 60%.
For what, for last season? I want a percentage for each season.
All 3 seasons?
Yeah.
Each separately, dude?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know. Okay, so 85, 40, and I don't even remember if 2 seasons ago, 60. What is the question?
Not bad. So last year he had 2,758 minutes, which was 80%. So you had 85. So that's good.
Fucking win.
That's a win. And the other two,
20% should be considered a win here, man, with these fucking questions.
The season before he did 2,253, which is 65%. You went 40 because I know you're fed up of my question at that point. And then this first season he did 1,520, which is only 45%.
So if you flipped,
you flipped your two answers.
I bet the average was around 60 though.
If you hadn't been so flippant, you could have got a better answer.
But I bet you, what's the total of the three then? I bet you it's 60.
It's around 60, yeah.
Probably a bit higher because it was 40, higher than 40, higher than 80, higher than 60. So it's going to be like 65. Yeah, he's an injury-prone player, man. Definitely. I mean, he's going to be the most interesting signing of the last few years based on the impact to Mo, really, and the impact to him. One of those two alpha penalty-taking dogs are not having as good a year as last year. That's for sure.
Yeah. Agreed. And the reason why I said this is because I kind of had this impression that Isak was always injured, but actually first season he was injured a lot with 45% of his time.
Yeah.
Next season he was still a bit injured with 65, but last season with 80, you kind of go, hang on a second, he's getting less injury prone, which is actually different to kind of what I had in my mind, which is why I thought
would argue differently. I would say 80% his good year, and that's like an anomaly maybe.
I mean, the thing is
65, right? Like this guy gets fucking hurt, dude.
Yeah, but I guess you could argue whatever injury he had in the first season, which kept him out a bit of last season, the following season may have now just got. I know he had niggles at the back end of last season, if you remember, but I don't know. There's funny things playing around. But anyway,
totally.
I think that's the risk with him, right?
He definitely comes across looking like a bit of a bitch here, man. I know that whatever Newcastle said to him, based on his claim, oh, they told me this. You got a fucking contract. Don't sign it then. Yeah. You signed a contract. That's the fucking deal. Literally a deal. You can't just be like, oh, fuck you guys. I want to go here and take my fucking toys with me. Like, I think Pool fans won't like hearing this, but everyone else thinks this guy's a bitch now, I think. Fuck this guy. Like, seriously. Like, I don't like this guy now. I just think there's like a way to do things, and no matter what they said to you behind closed doors, doesn't fucking matter because you signed this deal, period. Blame your agent for the deal then. But you're bound to this contract, dude. I see it a lot in like NFL. It's happening a lot right now too. It's just like, what the fuck's going on here, man? What's the point of these contracts? So anyway, it's just really annoying, man, because it puts these teams in like shitty positions, and just, I don't know. I think he's definitely gonna get booed. So we'll see how he deals with that as well, right? Because there's also like people have consciences and they get impacted by getting trolled online and stuff too. So, I mean, he could have a weak season, relatively speaking, just from that. Plus, there's just so many mouths to feed on this team. Like, I don't see him playing 90, do you?
Well, I think that's the well. Let's have that debate now, because I think that's the big question for me. So, as I'm on wildcard, I'm sitting there going, do I just go Isak now?
No,
because he's gonna. Why not?
Because they're gonna integrate him into the team. There's so many good forwards right now. I mean, I know Chris Wood just blanked, and he's got Arsenal this week, but then it's like Sunderland, Burnley, or something. JP, you gotta have. I mean, you gotta have.
Yeah.
You gotta have Haaland. I think. There's no way I'm going Isak over Haaland. No way. So then, that third forward, there's so many options right now that it just, to start with them, there's no need. It's like.
I think that's what I'm weighing up. Do I start with Mo and Haaland? Do I start, or do I go Isak to start off with? If I'm honest, my current plan, and I will talk about it a bit later on, is in game week 7 is kind of so. In game week 7, if I roll, I have like 4 chances in hand. That's my chance to bring in that's when the Arsenal fixtures pick up. It's when Man U's fixtures pick up. So it's something like I could sell Mo, a cheaper player, and a 7.5 million forward.
Mm-hmm.
I could sell those 3 and bring in Isak, Eze, and Bruno, or something like that. And that's the point when Liverpool's fixtures drop off a little bit. It's that's kind of going through my head at the moment. Is Because at that point, I'd have seen enough to see, actually, is Isak a real thing or not? Or is Gakpo still actually a fairly good pick still? Or
I think it's
that makes sense.
versus Mo to me. And I'm just going to have Mo. Mo is not losing pens to Isak. Put money on that. He's not losing pens to Isak. He'd have to start missing pens. This is his fucking team. This guy, Isak, can be as good as he thinks he is or whatever everyone else thinks about him. Mo just like crushed every fucking record again. He's not as good as Mo, period.
What I would say is Mo has not looked as good so far this season.
And still shit points out, except for versus Arsenal.
Yeah,
not looking good, has been shitting points out. So, I mean, he's going to look good in some games. You don't even need to take, like, look, dude, I mean, I'm going to keep Mo, keep Holland, and have Bruno and Gio in game week 7. Like, you don't even need to sacrifice them to get that exposure. I know you've got the new shiny Eze thing, so you're like a little bit attracted to that. Like, I would need to see more than what I saw yesterday, obviously, before going for Eze. I think ultimately every debate we have over a new signing is going to be like wait and see. You know, even with Jack, who I immediately brought into my team, it wasn't until he had that fucking ball and ass 2-assist game. And then I brought him in, he had another one because he's sick as fuck and looks unreal. And he's clearly a talisman. I don't care how many dibblings they bring in. It's Jack's team. So, like, to me, it's like, wait till you see Jack do what Jack did with Isak and Eze and whoever else before you bring him in.
I guess the debate is, if you believe that he'll end up being a talisman of sort for them, is he taking on the mantle from Mo? And do you jump on the gamble now? And people will be looking at that, right? They've got to be. Or do you just say, or do you bide your time? Because the thing is, the tricky thing is Liverpool's fixtures are really good the next couple of weeks, and then they kind of drop off a little bit.
Yeah.
And so, and there's a stronger argument at that point to go, well, actually, if there's not much between, say, Mo and Isak at that point, you're like, well, there is something between them. It's 4 million quid. And at that point, you then say, I prefer to have Isak because I'm not going to be captaining Mo as much. I'll be captain Haaland more.
There's also Ekiteke or whatever. There's fucking Gakpo. Like, Ekiteke's look pretty good. So, like, he's getting minutes. Gakpo's look pretty good. He's getting minutes. So, Ekiteke is not just going to, like, move to the left for Isak. Like, I think all of a sudden, my prediction is as the season goes on, I think Sean had a question in there. It's going to be more like that, dude. Like, Jodas was awesome. Obviously, rest in peace. But, like, he was awesome. Fucking rotated. Luis Diaz is awesome. Rotated. This is Mo's fucking team. Mo's playing 90. Isak's not going to play 90.
I guess he's going
to be over. I think he's going to be overpriced. Isak doesn't have pens. I think he's going to be overpriced. Isak at 10.5 million playing for Newcastle wouldn't be in my team, I don't think. I think he's overpriced anyway. So I just feel like people think because he's going to this super team, it's like, he's going to be unreal. It's like, actually going to be shittier than if he just stayed at Isak as an FPL or at Newcastle as an FPL asset, personally. So I think definitely wait and see. Because you don't even know what his minutes are like. You don't even know if this move helps him or hurts him from FPL purposes.
I think the thing I'm watching, the thing I will be looking out for is he did get called up to the Sweden squad. Obviously, he's not been playing for Newcastle. I'll be interested to see how he looks for Sweden. Does he look fit? Is he playing for them? Because that might make a difference as well. Because that's the other factors. He's not game fit, which I think does make it trickier to bring him in. But I think I want to be in a situation where I know how to get him in if he becomes good.
I think he
makes sense.
Again, cheap D. I mean, I've got 7.5+ million forwards, and Holland is. I mean, I can get him. I have the money up there. I mean, my plan's to get Gyökeres in game week 7 or whatever. Like, my plan's basically to roll till then in case there's some fire. Like, maybe make Pedro even cheaper. Porro. Maybe even make him a fucking 4.5.
Oh, right. That Pedro, yeah. Don't sell João Pedro.
No. Like, maybe even make him even cheaper is like the only thing on my mind right now. Like, none of my other players are going anywhere.
So I'm conscious.
The same if I wildcarded right now, except for maybe Porro.
Yeah. I'm conscious we may now start be answering some of the questions we've got coming up. Okay. So
all right,
why don't we whack the questions on? So,
my question. Okay. So
some bloke called Kevin has been asking questions about defenders. He seems to like defenders. So the first question is interesting because I messaged you in the week and I said to you, because we were messaging, you were saying, I can't remember, you were comparing players. I can't remember who it was. And I said,
Rangers versus Tarkowski, who gets more points at the end of the year?
Yeah. And I said to you, why don't we just go 5 at the back? Because these defenders are going to get a lot of points. Now, what I would say, looking at the top scoring players in the game, it's massively skewed because you got Timber and Calafiore up there.
Probably read this question out loud because this is a podcast.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Sorry. So, Kev's question is, as of now, the top 2 point scorers are defenders, which I think are Calafiore and Chalobah.
I wrote this yesterday too, so it might be different. I haven't even looked, but
yeah, the top 4, 6 of D should we be playing 5 at the back. Sorry, you may have got that from how I was sort of going into it. But
you know what? It might even be more now. I bet you those Palace D are like at the top as well. It might be like 6D at the top.
Well, the thing is, I mean, João Pedro's right up there.
Yeah.
As you might expect. But what I would say is if you look at the defenders, I think it's slightly skewed at the moment because you've got Calafiore at the top with 28. He's had 2 13-point hauls with like goals and assists. Right. Timber had his 24-point mega score, so he's up there. Chalobah has scored, which he won't do that often. He's got, but so I think it's slightly. I mean, Senesse's up there, Goy's up there, Lacroix is up there. Now I guess he's had a mega week, hasn't he, with an assist as well. So I think it's slightly skewed. Interestingly, Cucurella's only got 19, despite the fact he's very popular.
Right.
So, but the thing is, we're comparing them to if you look at the midfielders, they're all cheap midfielders up there. Enzo's at the top of the list at the moment, 6.6.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to go down to, he's not even on the first page. You can't see any of the big score. I mean, that's because I guess Saka and Palmer are injured.
Haaland's up there now.
Yeah, Haaland's up there on 24. So Haaland's of the premiums, only Haaland's on the top page at the moment, just behind João Pedro. But I think there's something to it. I think there's a world where I could see myself having like a 3-3-3. So what I mean by that, Kev, is 3 defenders, 3 midfielders, and 3 forwards that I play every week. And then I have 2 cheaper defenders and 2 cheaper midfielders, and I kind of just pick one of those to play every week. Yeah, if that makes sense. So I'm maybe more playing 4 at the back every other week or something like that. But I mean, I think going 4 at the back isn't crazy. I think the thing that's tricky is there's a lot of good £6.5 million pound type midfielders.
There are, yeah,
because you've got Grealish, you've got Sarr, who has got a knock. You've got Rodri, who will be on the radar when he's sort of up. And I mean, if Rodri fires, then Haaland's going to fire as well. There must be other 6.5s that I'm not even mentioning there. There's some good 5.5 still as well. I mean, you got Enzo at 6.5. I mean, he's on corners, isn't he?
That's what he's doing. A pen he'll never take again, though.
Oh yeah, okay.
So I mean, and I was actually a little shocked. João Pedro didn't take that pen, but okay. I got a lot of thoughts here. I think the D are significantly more important than last year. That's for sure. They were the least important ever last year. Don't even have it here. Now it's fuck. Okay, I'm going to use this example. I don't know who they play next week or the week after that. Let's just say they play
who?
Well, I'll tell you in a sec, but let's just say that the opponent is some middle of the table. Say it's Bournemouth, or say it's Brighton. Okay. The team's Crystal Palace. Who gets more points, Sarr or Lacroix? Everybody's got this fucking raging hard on for Sarr. Who gets more points in just an average game? I'm gonna go with Lacroix. Every fucking time I'm gonna put my money on Lacroix because Sarr has scored in the last 2 games. He's got 7 and 8. Lacroix has not. He's got fucking 13. Well, sorry, 11. He should have had 13, which is those 2 numbers together almost in one game. You got an assist, bro. There's just so many point fucking extra shit he's getting now because of CBIT. He doesn't score. He doesn't get an assist. He doesn't get a clean sheet. Guy's going to get 4 points probably. That's incredible. Sarr's going to get 2. There's going to be half the games these guys blank in. Lacroix is going to get 4. Sarr's going to get 2.
So
Sarr's 6.5 million. Lacroix 5. So like that's right away a £1.5 million difference in price that I don't think is personally justified. I'd rather my number one asset from that team is not Mateta or Sar. It's the Qua, the fucking gangster of Seabit, who's going to get like 45, who's going to get like, Sar needs to get like 14 assists this season to like match that. Just the Seabit. It's fucking insanely stacked. And it's not like this for every CB versus every attacker. It's just Lacroix's like the fucking top 3 in the league for CBIT based on last season. At that's like started the season looking even stronger. Palace's D looks even stronger. So I feel like that's what made me think this question is just hearing everybody's pick be Sar. I love Sar. Look at this guy Sar. And I'm like, Lacroix got more points again. Why is Lacroix on my bench? I would never have benched Sar if he was on my team. So I'm still not even thinking properly like that. I would never have, if Sar was on my team this week, there's no fucking way he would have been on my bench, would he? Because he's 6.5. Lacroix,
well, I think that's the tricky. Well, I think that's the tricky thing though, because you try and go for 5 defenders. It's very hard to play 5 defenders because when you look at it and you go, this guy's got this tricky game. I'm not going to play this guy. This week I'm going to play a midfielder instead. But if you play 5 defenders, you can only then play 5 attackers, can't you?
I don't actually want to play 5 defenders. I still don't think even me, who keeps going on about it, has fully accepted these CBIT points are so important because players will be blanking as the season goes along, and you just can get 2 extra. Like you've got, say you actually had 5 nailed on Lacroix, Tarkowski type D. Okay, just for the purpose of this experiment here. Okay, 38 games go by. Every one of your team blanks in half the games. These guys are going to get 38 divided by 2 is what, 19? So 19 times 2 is 38. That was easy math. There's no way they're going to get it in all of the games, but let's say they did for the entire season. They're going to get these fucking extra like 20, 30 points on these other guys in the games that they blank. It's just going to be like 2 points, 2 points, 2 points, 2 points, 2 points, 2 points. You're going to have like 4s and 3s on your back line, and in your middle, you're going to have 2s. So it's the blank. It's the games that they blank. This is going to slowly add up. And then it just seems also in the games where they don't blank, their upside's like 13 points. It's just like too much.
I think the flip to that is you also got to remember that defenders get minus points here, right? So for example, I've had Tarkowski. So he got me 4 points first week.
Good show.
He got me 8 second week with a clean sheet, which is that's going to be his, obviously that's the default. If he gets a clean sheet, he will be getting 8 points.
Right.
And then this week he only got me 3 because he let in a couple of goals.
But even 3 is...
It's not terrible.
It's better than 1 or 2.
Yeah, but I'm thinking, but I don't think Tarkowski and the Crow are necessarily the best examples here because they are going to get the C-bit every week. But I know you really like Rodon, but Rodon has got 7-2-7 or something like that.
I'm only playing him in home games. That's my theory. So just so you know, my 3 4.0s, I mean, unless I'm in a jam and I have to start one, my plan is to just play them in home games. And even the way I kind of did my fixture difficulty was a little unique. It was like home versus away. Home game if they play like an easy team, green fixture, great. Like Leeds this week to me, like great, perfect, fine. Ended up getting 7-pointer. Then there's the away easy team. I still don't love that because they're a promoted team. And at home, if like West Ham are playing Sunderland or Leeds or something, I feel like West Ham at home will be like, we're going to fucking pump these bitches. And they're just going to have like heightened competence because they're a promoted team. And it's just not going to be as defensively astute for the Leeds and Burnley away, no matter who they play. So I really want them at home. I feel like there's definitely a bump in competence at home for promoted teams in general, especially defensively. If they play a tough team at home, say they play like Chelsea or Man City at home, you can be shocked if Leeds somehow keep miraculous fucking clean sheet against Man City. Like I
will be very surprised. So
I feel like they could, and that's when you're going to see Rodon get like 12 points. So he's going to get all the bonus points, and he's going to get CBIT for sure. And I just view that as like they have this heightened confidence playing at home is going to lead to like a higher floor. So that's what I'm not going to have Leeds play every week.
Yeah, but so my counter to that is I think there's been a lot more clean sheets than we had last season so far. I haven't been through it, so there's been a lot more clean sheets. So I think that slightly skews the defenders' numbers. Rodon's interesting because he's not actually got any C-bit. He's just got 2 clean sheets and he's got a bonus on both those clean sheets. So he's got more the.
He didn't get a C-bit on the last game.
No, he's got what I would class as a classic defender clean sheet with a bonus point. The sort of thing that like a Saliba or whatever would have been, mopping up last season. So I don't think Leeds are going to keep that many clean sheets. And if you remember, the last 2, maybe even 3 Premier Leagues, the 3 promoted teams have all got relegated. Now
he did get it. He got 14 against Arsenal. They just got pumped 5-0. Which 2 points though instead of 0. I mean, it's.
Oh no, okay, fine, yeah, but I'm saying, but my point is he only got 7, but the 2 other games where he's got 7, he didn't get the C bit. He might not be miles off it, but my point is, I think your argument of Lacroix and maybe Tarkowski works.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes to 4.0 defenders or 4.5, I think it doesn't work as strongly.
Sure, fair enough.
Just because I just don't think I think don't think I get enough clean sheets. But yeah, agree with. But I mean, it's definitely. But I mean, the overarching point is the defenders are definitely more of a thing, and I can see myself playing with 4 defenders more often this season than I did last season.
Yeah, like I kind of view Esteve, Alderete, and Rodon as like a rotating third bench 50, and whoever has the best clean sheet fixture will be the one that I have to play. But it is what it is, man. I don't know. So there are other questions. So what you want me to? I'm gonna not spend as much time on my other ones, but is it worth paying 5.56 or the 4.5 the way to go? Now that if you can find the Sinisis that let's say the trade deadline ends and Sinisi's still there, like I'd rather have him than a Cucurella.
I'm not sure. Well,
you know what? Sorry. I would rather have Tosin with no more Chelsea defenders coming in. To me, that's who I will be turning Pedro Porro to. It's just like, and that was like the one player, I think I said this when I was on WILDCARD, and I know that I did it before the trade deadline ended. The one position was that, and I'm like, I'll just play Pedro Porro as like unreal fixture. Spurs seem to be keeping cleans, and Porro's at least on corners and attacking. He's my one non-CBIT D, but at least there's enough money there. I can probably get any 4.5 CBIT guy after the deadline or whatever. So that's my plan, and my fingers are crossed that it's Tosin. But I feel like Chelsea are going to sign someone.
It doesn't look like they are, but I haven't. But no, I've had Tosin since the start of the season. Obviously, bit me in game week 1 when he randomly got injured. Right. I mean, I had Chalobah until the fact he had a knock and Tosin was fit. And I know they said Chalobah was fit, but I mean, had it not been for that, I would have had Chalobah. But anyway, it is how these things go. But I don't think there's that many I don't think there's that many 4.5 defenders that I'd have over some of the more expensive defenders. But I think the 3 that stand out for me are Tosin.
Yeah.
Guehi, now he's going to Liverpool.
Well, yeah.
I mean, he that's a gift. I mean, he's going to be on my wild card.
C-bit guy as well.
Yeah, but the thing is, he'll make Liverpool's defense better. I guess the flip to that is he makes Palace defense less good. They'll keep less cleans without him. And then the guy who I think may be a bit under the radar is Udogie, 4.4 now.
Yeah, he's. So I looked at putting him in actually on my wild card, because like I've heard preseason, he's nailed, and he's the guy to get, not Porro, for like more attacking than Porro. But now Judge Spence has played so well, he's made an England call up, and it's spooky.
Yeah.
So I'm just sort of like, that England call up is like a huge boost to that guy's stock. At the very least, makes Udogie murky. So fuck it. Like I would need him to be like starting 6 in a row.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
there now.
The only reason why I'd go Udogie on the wild card now is
one.
It's more. Would I go Udogie over a 4.0? That's kind of my question, and it's more because, as you say, Spurs defense has kind of looked better until last game. and I think they may have a better defense longer term. The thing is, I don't be faffing about making defensive changes.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I'd sort of strongly consider. For me, they're the 4.5s that I'd go for, and I think the 4.0s, it probably is a Leeds guy or a Burnley guy. I'm not convinced by Sunderland's defense, if I'm honest, at all.
No, me either. Like I think that guy Alderete will be my, like, I'll probably have King third all the time just because, you know what I mean? Like, he can't get Seabit. Like, at least Alderete could get, like, how often is King actually going to score? He's got Smith Rowe breathing down his neck too. Looks like they love King though, and he's like the future of their team.
I mean, he scored a good goal against the weekend, and then I mean, it should never been ruled out. But that's Chelsea for you, though. Incredibly lucky because they've had two. Because you remember the first game of the season, they scored that free kick, and that was ruled out, and no one agreed with that either.
The thing with Alderete is he does look like a C-bit guy, like consistent, right? The first week he didn't play much because he just got signed and he's nailed, and now it's like, oh yeah, okay, this guy's gonna get C-bit, right? You got 11 this week. He got 9 the week before, right? So right around it. So say he's on my bench and gets subbed on, like I just feel like there's more of like a 3-4 point sub on there than King's 2-2-2-2-2-2-9 2-2-2-2-2-2-7. I'd rather have Alderete getting like 3-4 3-3-2 5 4 6 2 3. You know what I mean? Anyway, we're still talking about this.
So I think we can mix the next question because your next question was: do you prefer a stud attacking return potential defender or boring as fuck stay-at-home CB defender that could get CB any week? I think we talked about that. So let's move.
My thought there.
Right. So Sandy Radford's question, I think this is quite an easy question. Is JP, as in João Pedro, now essential? Yes, he is for me. He's got to be.
Especially with Palmer out. I would reassess with Palmer back because Palmer being out seems to have unlocked JP as this like roaming 10 that does what he pleases. And like, their most engaged play. It's like he's taken over what Palmer was. So for now, yeah. But when Palmer's back, I would reassess. Plus, he's like 1,000,000% owned, so it's just like boring. Like you might as well have him and just take that out. Oh, you can cheer for him all you want, but the problem is Sandy wildcarded him out right after that game week 1 blank, so he's kind of gotten bitten pretty hard there.
Well, his question is. His forwards are Watkins, Evan-Nielsen, and Haaland.
Mm-hmm.
Would you sell down from Watkins or sell Palmer and move up from Evan-Nielsen? For me, I would go. I'd get rid of Watkins because Villa look bad. The only thing I would say about Villa is it looks like they're picking up everybody. They've bought, and maybe buying a couple of players today might help them a little bit because they're buying who's the chap from Liverpool they're getting
Harvey Elliott. They got Sancho as well. So they've got like attacking wingers now.
Yeah,
I mean, not that like Coutinho type player they had last year that like really helped them.
I mean, Harvey Elliott could be interesting at 5.4. He's definitely a monitor because if he gets into that Villa team and Villa forms something like they can, and Elliott, for those that followed it, was really good in the under-21 international European Championships for England. Who's really
totally, man. Like I think there's definitely potentially something there. The big challenge though is I need to wait and see for sure. Nobody's gonna like jump on this guy, right? And the problem with that is Villa's unreal fixture run is right now. So like you gotta wait and watch this guy while he plays like Sunderland and Burnley and say, okay, I like what I see here. And they got Tottenham, City, Poole, Bournemouth. And it's like, oh, then Leeds away, which is not as great as Leeds home, which we just talked about. Wolves home, but awesome. And then like Arsenal's coming up. Chelsea away is coming up. It's just sort of like unfortunate that their best green patch of the season until you get into like late in the season is like right now. So I personally, I don't love Evan-Nielsen though. Do you? I guess they've got a really good fixture run too, and at least he scored a goal. But
thing about Bournemouth is they're attacking.
Still Watkins down. I think it's just Watkins down.
I think Watkins down. The where that maybe is a slightly different answer is if Palmer is really injured, because he might be back, and suddenly Palmer's a differential, right, if you still got him in your team.
Maybe.
But if you feel like you have to sell Palmer, then maybe Sir Nielsen comes back on the table, because Watkins a nice easy move to Gyökeres once Villa's fixtures drop off. But I don't mind Ivan Nielsen for the next few games. I like Ivan Nielsen. He did well for me last season. I'm a fan of his, and I think he's an interesting alternative to Semenyo as well.
Okay, I just pulled up Larry's question, which is question mark Timber
Fiore, none of the above. I'm really torn on this, right? So
yeah, let's hear it.
So I really want one of them on my wild card. That's kind of my default was Timber. We talked about this last week. We both think that Timber's the most nailed of them all. Mm-hmm. And the thing with Calafiore is he's so attacking. Oh yeah, but he looks immense from corners. Totally. He is so attacking, and Arteta has really talked him up this season.
I know.
And Myers Lewis Skelly is not getting a look at now. If you remember when we bought him last season,
anyway,
we really wanted Calafiore. I think we might have even got him in the teams at some early on in the season, but he got injured.
Came on and fucking scored a goal like first kick, and then got
against Man City. Yeah,
and it was like, dude, he looks unreal. Like the way he attacks and takes the kicks, and like then he scored off the header. Like I think they both play 90 every week. Calafiore has way more attacking return than Timber. I just think Timber is more nailed. And I agree with that. From what I saw from Timber the other week, Timber clearly does have it in him. I mean, that's probably going to be one of the highest game week scores the entire year. So I do think Timber could play center back next game if Saliba's out.
Well, I don't know. He won't. It was going to be Mosquera. So
didn't look great, did he?
Sorry, Mosquera was great for us.
I said this last game he didn't look great, did he?
What, Mosquera?
Yeah, I didn't think so, man. They were all yelling at him too. Did you see that? They were like, "Get the fuck over there! What are you doing?"
I thought he did really well. Anyway,
okay.
I mean,
MLS is like fucking, unreal.
Mosquera's 5.4, which is kind of like if Saliba's out for a long time, Mosquera will be playing. I'm pretty confident of that.
There's no way you put Mosquera in your team, though. I mean, just with knowing the second Saliba's fit, you got a problem.
I know. I'm saying if Saliba had a long-term injury,
right,
then it's if it's just a small ankle knock, then yeah, agreed. But if Saliba's out for 3 months, then Mosquera comes onto the picture, because you then suddenly go,
he's like Rhea, where
you've got a chance of C-bit and a goal.
The same price now, so now it's like, hey, there's some maybe attacking return potential from a header. That
100%. I mean, so the other thing about Calafiore is we're about to buy this. I don't know how to pronounce it. Hincape. We're buying this other left-sided defender. Basically, he's coming in to replace Kivior, who's gone out the door. But that means you've got another player that could play left back. I'm like, oh great. So
this year seems to be, to me, the absolute most. The big clubs but except City, weirdly, I mean, they obviously spent some money, but like 25 on Cherokee, 40 on Rangers or whatever. And it's like, this is like the one season where like every other team that's up there seems to just be like fucking open the flood. Like I've never seen so much money spent. Like you guys have brought in unreal players. It's probably the best signing period I've personally witnessed for Arsenal. And then Liverpool are like, fucking blank check. Like, look at this. Like, it's like, whoa, you guys can't go around talking about how you got Coutinho money and how City bought the league anymore, can you, Liverpool? They're like, oh, we don't give a fuck. Isak 150, Ertz 150. Don't even remember how much Ekateki cost. It was like 90 or some shit. Just like fucking boom, 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 blank check, blank check. Then at Man United, it's like, oh, shush, go. Just fucking buying players. Everybody's just buying players like crazy. Even Everton's fucking buying players. It's nuts. It's like the most insane transfer window I've ever seen.
I think the risk for Arsenal's defense. I agree with that. But fair to Liverpool, they've lost Diaz. Obviously, they've lost Darwin. Obviously, it's very sadly lost Jota. So they've had to replace. No, they've sold him. They've sold him to someone in Saudi, of course.
Oh, that's fucking bullshit, dude. That doesn't count to me, man. I'm sorry. That look, it counts. The same way Man City being owned by Saudi money counts. So now you can't bitch about them being owned by Saudi to me. If you're going to go get some inflated piece of money from them anyway by selling some shitty player to them for stupid money. You're going to sell a guy to Saudi for fucking 100 million. I don't even know what he's sold for, but like
60 mil, I think.
60 mil when he's worth like fucking 40, 30 realistically right now with how shit he's been. To me, it's just like, I don't see how that's different than them coming and buying your team and pumping money in that way. You're still selling your fucking soul to that shit for the inflated money to help you buy more players, right? I mean, how is it different? Anyway, I guess that's a different debate you could have. But like, I just don't think you can complain about Man City being Saudi bought championships anymore, personally.
Well, I think the complaint about Man City
getting around financial fair play that way by using the Saudi money to help financial fair play now instead. I just think it's bullshit, personally.
I think the complaint about Man City is the 115 charges hanging over their heads and question marks about how
exactly from Saudi money being pumped in. Now it's Saudi money's being pumped in to help my financial fair play in like some fucking loophole where we're selling them to overinflated prices over there.
It's partly the Saudi money. It's partly how they essentially fiddled the books, or whatever. I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of it. I mean, there's always no argument. There's no smoke without fire. But maybe that's like this is a rabbit hole we shouldn't go down.
Sell a player for stupid Saudi money, you're just as bad to me personally. I don't want to hear like a Liverpool fan complain about how City, you know what I mean? If they're gonna go sell a player to Saudi for sports washing inflated money anyway. So it's the same fucking thing. Sorry, it's Live Golf money. It's all the same shit. It is what it is. Just don't bitch when another team does it. All right. So
Timber versus Calafiore. I think Timber's the safe. So for me, I'm planning to get one of those on my wild card because I just think.
Okay, that's interesting. Nobody. Not worth it. Not worth the extra money.
So I'm going to get one of them. At the moment, the safe choice is Timber, but Calafiore is, as Kev says.
Are you going to go Rhea as well then?
No.
Okay, so you're going to have one unit of Arsenal D.
That way, yeah, because the reason why I don't want two is I don't know if I ever want to have Eze and Gyökeres in the end, and I don't want to start blocking that, start messing about.
Sure, yeah,
players.
I want one for sure because they seem to. Even yesterday, it took. I mean, even I would imagine as an Arsenal fan, you're like, "Fuck, man, we play like." That's what it takes to score on us. An unstoppable, unreal, one of the best free kicks of the season. Hats off to Zobo, man. That was fucking crazy. Pissed me off as a Rhea clean sheet loss, but I was like, fuck, that was a good kick, dude.
It was a hell of a kick.
You know what it was? It was the distance, too. Like, it wasn't close. Those are almost trickier.
In some way, yeah, it's one of those ones. My initial view was Ray should have saved it, but then you watch it back and you go, okay, that was a hell of a free kick.
Because the thing is, they were like, oh, look how far to the other side he was to start. He would have kicked it over there then if he was. If Ray was in a different spot, he wouldn't have kicked there. He would have kicked over there. You know what I mean? Like, you can't blame him for that. Yeah. He fucking extended his body. Anyway.
But yeah, but I agree. I think it's hard not to have a unit of Arsenal defense.
Agree.
And
especially at this stage, like a week ago when I wild card, or if say like Sandy did a week earlier, in my head, I'm like, I don't need it now because they got Liverpool next kind of game. But I know I will need it. And like as other people start hitting wild cards, you're gonna have one or two of them. And I just kind of, for me, it's Rhea because with your keeper, it's like you're not gonna diddle about with the change in the card. If all of a sudden, you go Calafiore and he starts getting rotated or something, you're like, fuck, I can't just move him to Gabriel, can I? So that's probably the one thing about going with one of these two guys in Larry's questions that I don't like. It's not a straight swap to the nailed CB if the unfortunate thing of rotation starts actually biting them, and now all of a sudden your Arsenal clean sheet unit's compromised, and that could be really annoying if other people are getting it, you're not, and you can't just find the money easily.
Maybe. So, I think there's I think the flip to that is. As you said, when you bought Raya, the goalkeeper, the spread of the goalkeeper points isn't that big,
right?
And therefore, can you find a different goalkeeper solution? That's kind of where my head's at. I prefer to get a different goalkeeper.
Who are you thinking?
You'll laugh at this, Pope.
Okay.
Now, the only thing with Pope is you got Ramsdale sat there, but from what I can work out, Pope's number 1 at the moment.
Definitely number 1.
I have to protect my Arsenal because I like Ramsdale, but Ramsdale's now, I think Ramsdale's probably dropped to 4.9.
Anyone that's ever worn an Arsenal jersey, you're like, oh yeah, love that guy.
Love Ramsdale. Anyway, so
I see him as an old ex-Blade, so I'm like, fuck that guy.
So I mean, at the end of the day, if Pope loses his spot to Ramsdale, I'll just get Ramsdale and save a small amount of money. And I've Dubravka anyway, and the Dubravka is not terrible. So Pope's kind of where my head's at the moment because I think Newcastle are a good defensive team.
Who's the best 4-5 keeper? Petrovic? I don't think there is one. I think there really isn't one.
Yeah,
I'd almost go Dubravka and a non-playing 4-0 if I went down there. Like actually,
I was kind of looking at this thinking because I was thinking, could you even do the dangerous rotation and have Dubravka playing the home games? And because actually, as it happens, Pope and Dubravka
rotate
home away like this. It's like, okay.
Well, I did see this. Burnley made a signing today, and the only thing I quickly looked just to be like, oh, is this Steve fine? You know, and it was a defensive midfielder that other teams were complaining. Fuck, I thought we were going to get him. So, I think Burnley's like only way we're staying up is clean sheets. Like we're not. We got to beat Sunderland like we did, and then we have to like try to tie with clean sheets the other teams. That's our only hope, I think, is their view, right? So defensive they are.
There were no good 4.5 because you're talking like Sunderland, Bournemouth, Leeds.
I think it's Bournemouth, if any. Like at least they're
West Ham, right? Villa. Well, no, it's not even Villa, is it? Because I'm in my head, Martinez might be going to Man United. If he does, then this Bizzo guy might.
They signed a Man U signed a guy. They signed
a young guy, haven't they?
Oh, I forget his name, but yeah.
Kelleher at Brentford.
No.
Verbruggen.
No.
Jose Sarr. The all just
now, if I had to pick one, it would be Petrovic. Moving on. So, where do you get detailed match history CBIT stats from? This is Pete Newman. Who are the CBIT beasts? Not Murillo, like he was meant to be.
So for CBIT, there's two ways of doing it. You can click on the individual player and look across the histories as you normally would do. And that gives you all the stuff like XGI, but it gives you defensive contributions for every game that player's played.
They also have in career, I noticed they added the total for last year as well. For each player. Nice. But you can't sort by everyone, which is probably what he's asking. And I can't in terms of last year.
But what you can do is if you go to defenders, you can then rather than searching by total points or price or team selected by, there is an opportunity to select by defensive contributions, but you can also select it by tackles, clearances, blocks, and interceptions and recovery. So you can actually see it split, but that's obviously a total across the whole season. It's not just most recently, but if you do like defensive contributions, you'll see straight away that Van Dijk and Senesi are right at the top for defenders, for example.
My process has been just sorting by DC and like clicking like who's actually getting them, and do they all come in one game, or who's getting 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 each game. Yeah. And that, like, to me is Tonali had like a 9 and an 11, where Lacroix was like 14, 14, 10. Like that's like the guy's got a buffer every game. He's getting so many, right? Like that's what I'm looking for. Like Senesi, the problem is he going to get sold or sorry, are they going to bring someone in and also?
Wow, he's got 14, 14, 15. Wow.
Senesi, yeah. I just don't view Senesi's like clean sheet there. I know he just kept one. But if he's going to get 15 every week, then fuck it. Who cares? Like the clean sheet will just the like 7 clean sheets they get will just be a bonus. Like because the thing is, you just leave them in.
Wow, they've got 2 clean sheets already this season. That's a surprise. I never thought Bournemouth were good at defending. Perhaps that's their new thing.
And well, they played Wolves, who suck. The Wolves are like look horrible, dude. Like I think Wolves are like number 1 team to target. You know what I mean? Anyway, so yeah, that's how I'm doing it. I'm kind of just like clicking on the players, Pete, but just
I think that's the way of doing it. I think you organize it by defensive contributions, and then that'll at least give you the hint of the players that are good at it, and then you just click on them individually.
And then I'm also sort of trying to look at like Are they only getting them versus Arsenal and Liverpool, or are they getting them?
Yeah, I think
like I would like my player to also get them when they clean Brighton.
Yeah. So the reason why I'm so surprised Bournemouth are getting these clean sheets, they sold the whole entire defense. So how is this possible?
They also had Ryan Christie was sort of like an Anderson last year, where he's soaking them all up. I think he was actually the #1 ranked midfielder for CBIT. Being injured, fit now, hasn't really been integrated back in the team, kind of like Kluivert. So that they're one to kind of, they're still very much up in the air on what do we think about Bournemouth to me, because all these like key players that will be starting haven't really been in the team.
I'm just shocked that they've kept they've kept 2 clean sheets out of 3, despite selling the entire defense. I assumed it would be, for obvious reasons, the opposite. Anyway, should we go to the next question from Pete?
Kev, how would you change your wild card now with 1 week's more info? I mean, this is probably better if we pod it after today and all of the transfer window stuff was done. I wouldn't change anything so far, except I regret not having Bruno this 1 game week, but now going for like the next 2-3 game weeks, I'd rather have Semenyo. So I just wish the additional info I'm going to get from the 4.5 million keepers on the transfer window, specifically with Tonali, to me would have been the one main thing I would have changed. I would not have changed anything else, I don't think.
Tonali?
What's his name? Not Tonali. Fucking Chelsea D. What? Tosin. Him. Specifically, I would have had in my team if I know for a fact to bring anyone else in instead of Porro. I just put Porro in as a placeholder. I figured there's good fixtures and attacking return for to kind of counter.
I think Tosin and Goihi are the 2. They were the 2 I'm watching out for today.
Goihi. So to me, my forwards wouldn't have changed at all. I would have still had Chris Wood even after blanking yesterday because of the fixtures that he has coming up, and like I've just got him penciled into Gio for like 3 weeks from now. And my mids, Jack, 100% nailed. I think, Chris, you should have him in your wild card. I don't know what your wild card is going to look like, but Jack Grealish to me is fucking nailed. Like wild card a week early, I'm benefited 10 points from it. I view it that way. I think Reinders is going to be more up for debate. What I took away was City had a crap game, and yet again, Reinders was nailed and taking corners. So I just I'm like, look, man, 5.5 million taking corners for City. That's fine. Like I think what I know is like the structure of my team is I want cheaper D than most. And I want a 5.5 million type mid as well as my 4th mid, because I think there's a good kind of cluster of them. Harvey Elliott, maybe later. Reinders now, maybe Forrest get their shit.
Caicedo.
Anderson, Caicedo. So to me, it's like, I'm happy that being Reinders right now, I got a bit of money built up in them as well. So it's like, even if they do become unpopular for a week or two, if City go in a shit spell, like it's not killing me. So I wouldn't have changed that. I'm definitely 100% would still have gone Mo and Holland. Last week, the only thing was just sort of like, you know how every week your view changes a bit. Like, hey, fuck, game week 1, Rangers went nuts. We must all get Rangers. And then this week, it's like, oh, look, Bruno had all these defensive contributions. How the fuck didn't I have them? It's like, yeah, but they're about to go have like, it took Bruno being a fucking asshole yelling at everyone at the end of the game, looking like a dick, quite frankly, getting a fucking pen to haul. And I know that's in his repertoire, getting pens. And like, that's part of who he is. All he needs is to do one thing and he's going to get like, double points. But the more I think about it, is he going to get CBIT all year? Yeah. Is that worth 9 million? I don't know.
Well, I think the thing with Bruno is there's kind of a presumption at some point that somewhere between Cunha, Bumo, Sesko, they're going to start actually firing forward. And then once if that happens, Bruno will be getting in on the action on goals and assists. I think that's the point in which he could become really, really good, because he kind of has, if he gets his attacking returns with the defensive contributions thrown on top, then he becomes a very, very good player.
I think the way my view changed with Bruno from last week to this week is now that Burnley fixture's behind him, there's no fucking way I would have him in my wild card this week. I think last week it was debatable. This week it's like, no, I'll get him in later if I need to.
He's a classic player that does better again the harder games.
No, it's not true at all. He does better in the easy games. He sucks in the hard games. He goes invisible. It's like the total opposite of my view of him, man. Really? You think
he does well against? He's got a good. Well, I'm thinking more. He's got a good record against Man City. That's kind of what I got in my head.
Maybe.
Anyway, let's see.
I've always found Man City get lit up by like the Rashfords from.
But I think I agree. I think it's hard to get him in the wild card now.
Yeah.
But you missed Pete's previous question, but you kind of half answered us. Are reindeers and 8 Norrie now a serious monitor? I mean, 8 Norrie. I mean, 8 Norrie definitely is because Man City are back to how they have been for a long time, which is they don't keep clean sheets.
Right.
That's the issue.
I think
even when they were winning the league, they didn't keep that many clean sheets. They weren't that good defensively.
He will have a few huge games for sure, though. Like they're gonna win 4-1, and he's gonna get 2 assists or something. Like he's definitely attacking. They're very fucking hot, cold form team, aren't they? This like for the last few years now, and got him. I guess I just don't think he's worth 6 million. If he was 5 million, he'd be absolutely nailed in my team.
Yeah.
6 million, it's like. I guess the big thing for me is that game week 1 huge defensive contribution thing. Like how much of an anomaly was that? Like, can he do that? Is that who he is, or was that just a one-off? You know what I mean? I've
been trying to work. He didn't get that many yesterday from memory. I'm not checked. He looking now?
No, he didn't. He got 8 actually. He was close. So
okay.
To me, that's what I would monitor. If he's going to be like 8, 9, 12, like then with the upside potential, if they can sort their clean sheets, then maybe he is the best. Like I would, if he's getting defensive contribution points, that's a huge thing to me. Like consistently always getting them, then I would rather have him than Pedro Porro, who happened to get them yesterday, but I don't think that's like going to be, I think that was more of an anomaly. Pedro Porro got it yesterday. I don't think he's going to get them all the time. So it's still so early. I don't know who's like, even Sinisi, it might just be 3 games where he just randomly got him. I don't know. Like I need like a 8-week sample size here. Like, and then we're going to know who the main CBIT guys are at 4.5. So I don't mind keeping him for now. If you've got him and you haven't wildcarded, he definitely would not be in my wildcard though.
Yeah, he's not a sell. What about reindeers? It sounds like you're still convinced by him. I was kind of like, obviously I almost went in the first game of the season, and then I saw he obviously did well in that first game, and I was like, and I held my nerve and didn't bring him in, which I'm pleased about because he's obviously blank since then.
Right.
And I'm trying to work out what Rodri does to him, and I actually think I do Rodri ahead of him.
Oh, fuck. I would love a Rodri in my team. I would. I would love Rangers to be Rodri in my team once Rodri's like humming. But I'm really happy he's starting every game. I'm really happy he's on corners. And he almost tied the game yesterday. I don't know if you were watching it, but like he was the closest to tying that game. Like he's still getting in on the attack. Rangers.
Oh, Rangers, okay.
He's still like almost fucking hauled yesterday. So like it's so cheap. It's fine. It's not where you want to, I don't think, be moving your transfers around too much. Is that like your 7th attacker, basically? Yeah. Right? Maybe you rotate him with your defender. Like KRIS sound like he's going to line up his 4th defender for 7th attacker rotation or something. I don't
know. Right.
Next.
So let's look at Matty's questions. I think we kind of talked about this first one. If Isak goes to Liverpool, do we downgrade Salah and have Haaland and Isak for premium front 2? I think it's definitely consideration. Kev doesn't. I mean, I'm torn on it. My default, I was playing about yesterday, was to have Salah and Haaland in my team for now and captain Salah next couple of games. But I'm definitely looking at moving on Salah for Isak and using extra money to invest in the midfield when that happens. But I guess the downside with that is you had Isak and Haaland, you then have Pedro. I mean, you can't have Gyökeres, or you can't have any of the £7.5 million guys. And I think that's the
you don't have Mo, the fucking best player in FPL. You don't have him either.
Oh, agreed. But I think it's a question of But I think it's the hypothetical of could Isak be better than Mo in this game?
Right.
That's kind of, and we don't know the answer yet, do we? And we don't know if Isak's going to get rotated or not. But I think, I guess if you want to get ahead of the curve, and you think if you could play a narrative which is Mo hasn't looked as good so far this season. He tailed off at the back end of last season. He's not getting younger, and they bought this Isak guy, spent 125 million pounds on him. He's got to play every minute of every game to justify it. And you think Isak's going to be is going to be amazing in an improved attacking team versus Newcastle? Then I think you can make an argument that Isak's going to absolutely destroy Mo in terms of that. But the flip to that is you go, well, yeah, but the reason why they've got Isak is they're going to use Isak more in the Champions League, and he's going to rotate across both competitions, but he's going to play a lot. He's been more injury prone. We've already talked about that. Yeah. And Mo is still on pens, as Kev kind of suggested. I agree with that. As things stand. And so far, Mo's just not been at it so far this season. But when he fires, he's going to start getting his double-digit points every week. So that's kind of what you've got to weigh up. And the question is, do you roll the dice now without seeing Isak playing for Liverpool, or do you give it a few weeks? The sensible answer is to give it a few weeks. It's certainly something we should be monitoring. If you want to be brave, bring Isak in now and don't have Mo. But, I think it's a tricky call.
Right now, no way. Plus, Burnley and Everton next. And Isak's going to need some time, so definitely don't move now.
I guess the thing to play about is, could you get Isak, Mo, and Haaland?
Yeah, you could, but now all of a sudden, look, you could definitely do that because there's so many good 5.5 mids, 6.5 mids. I've got Semenyo, and I've got Pedro Porro, and I've got Chris Wood. So Semenyo could go down $1 million. Could even go down almost $1.5 million to $2 million.
So yeah, because you need one.
Pedro Porro goes down $1 million, and now there's my $3 million easy.
Yeah. So
Pedro Porro's 5.5. He goes down to Sinisi, and then Semenyo goes down to Rodri, or he goes down to Anderson for Forest, or someone like that. Some of the players that we just talked about. And all of a sudden, I've got Chris Wood has turned into Fuckhead or whatever his name is. So
Isak.
Yeah. So for me right now, that Wood move is Pedro Porro goes down to 4.5. Chris Wood becomes Gio. Straight move, man. I've got 0.4 extra to do that. I also have 0.7 in the bank because of the way I did my wild card. So I feel like he's definitely. You really want to have that much money in two teams, though? I would want. I just 10.5 million, dude. You need to be on pens. Sorry, you just need to be on pens. He takes pens from Mo. I sell Mo. I get Isak.
I can see the point because
not have pens as well. You're not to be a premium. That's fucking Saka Palmer money, man. That's why I don't want Saka, because Gio's taking pens. Saka kind of died a little to me, right? So anyway, and he's a forward. There's no clean sheet points. He's not gonna get CBIT. It's he's gone up in price. He's gonna get less goals, and he's got and the game changed to benefit mids and D even more this year than ever versus forwards. So no, we're just everyone's going to talk about this all week long on everything you read about and listen to, and I just think it's a resounding wait and see for sure. I think 99% of people are going to debate like this and be wait and see. So this is a couple weeks. Wait till Isak has a big game, then debate it.
Right, Matty's next question. With the unpredictability of the Prem so far, Bournemouth beating Spurs. That wasn't that surprising. West Ham beating Forest, that was surprising.
Yeah.
Is it a good strategy to hold on transfers? I think the answer is yes. And I think that's one of my learnings from last year is that I didn't hold my transfers as much as I did. It took a lot of willpower for me not to sell Palmer this week. That was tough for me. That was really tough. I love a transfer. It's good for me.
Everyone does. You get it's Saturday morning for me, Saturday afternoon for you, and random guy you already fucking had, made your pants tighter already. You has a big game, and then you go onto the price sites in a few hours, and he's just fucking going up and up and up, and you're oh, Woo, man, and this guy's being blank. This guy in my team's fucking blanket. He says, I can just do it. I can do it in one move right now. Get ahead of the price rises and fucking do it. Just do it. Who cares? It's a fucking stupid game. Have fun. Or roll your transfers and build them up, right? That's the reality. It's fine on listen to fucking pod after the week's ended and there's 2 weeks of international break to be like, oh, of course, roll your transfers. And then the reality as well is like everything changes every fucking Saturday when some new hot guy comes out and has a big game and you're like, I must get this guy. And then you do it. And that's not a wrong answer either. I think right now, the uniqueness is you can wild card and you can, like in KRIS's scenario, it's a lot easier to roll that transfer knowing you're only getting a 1 game out of Cunha at the expense of coming out of the wild card with like extra transfers banked. Plus, out of a wild card, it's a lot easier typically to roll for a week or two because you kind of set your team up for the next few weeks and like bench players and stuff, and you don't have injury concerns, and none of your players are these like disappointing out of form players whose prices are in free fall. So it's a lot easier to hold the transfers now. So like right now, I could see us all getting the 2, 3, 4 bank transfers coming out of our wild cards.
Assuming there's no big injury, because like if Mo or Haaland gets injured, then you can't sit there. You can't sit there with a 14 million pound guy.
Does go nuts immediately, and we're like, oh fuck. So like I think right now, yes, for sure. Bank your transfers if you can. Use the wild card strategically to help do that too. As the season goes on, you want to get some fucking breakout player, great, do it. I mean, there is like a how many points do you get at the end of the season, but then it's a long year and you get dopamine from getting a new toy to play with too, right? So
I think the reality is, I think the players that are best at this are very good at waiting for all the information, taking the price hits, and don't worry about the prices, and they bank their transfers. They're the people that trust their judgment of they pick the right players and minimize their transfers are generally the players that do best at this. Doesn't mean they're the ones that are going to be the ones that win it. The ones that win it are the ones that have actually pushed the boundaries and done something a bit different, right? Yeah. But the reality is the ones that do consistently well will be banking their transfers and will transfer once all the information is available. But yeah. But as Kev says, have fun. And then next question is Grealish now the must-own midfielder? Yes, definitely.
For me, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. I mean,
talisman.
He's, I don't think he's going to get 2 assists every game for the rest of the season. Like, clearly not. But Everton have now bought some better players. I think helps him as well. But he's the main guy there. Even if Everton's fixtures don't look great, he's still he could. Thing is, he could. If it's like he was at Villa, he could return in any game. Any game.
I just remember one week, mid-season in that Villa season, and he had like 8 goals and like 10 assists. It wasn't even crazy, but there was just a period where it was just like every single person's like, how do I get him in? I need to get him in now. And like, and everyone that you would listen to in this kind of format was like, definitely get him in. Like he is a must own right now, right? And it was sort of like as that season went on, he wasn't at the beginning, and then he grew into it. It's like he's immediately hit the ground running. In that, like, yeah, man, get him in. Like, because like their game plan is like get Jack the ball, let him do his little fucking come and foul me thing, and everyone else gets open, and they're coaching to it. And it's like Jack gets the ball, slowly dribbles it into the box, passes the right guy, goal. He's not going to get a lot of goals. I hope he's on pens. He's probably not on pens, though.
He's not on pens. I looked into this. Yeah. He took like 1 or 2 pens for Villa, so I made that up that he was on pens.
So, but yeah, definitely, man. And he's so cheap, man. The guy's going to be like 7 point something in a few weeks, dude.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think we're both in agreement on Grealish. So, yeah, Brian Phoenix.
Everton, everyone on that team seems to have a chance at defensive contribution points. Like, he almost got him. Maybe he did. I can't remember. But, like, even like the fucking randomest guys are getting it. Not just Tarkowski. Like, all the D are near it.
I'm not sure he did, but I think he got like 11 or something.
Yeah.
But that was my other takeaways. He might even get defensive contribution points as well, which is just an added bonus.
Right.
It's a bonus for someone that I think I picked even without them.
Yeah.
And he's cheap. And this is interesting. He's cheap and he's an enabler to some extent, isn't he? Because 6.8 think 6.7 now. I got him at 6.6. Obviously, you got him at 6.5.
He's cheaper than the Man United guys, like by a lot. He's cheaper than Semenyo. He's cheaper than Morgan Rogers. He's cheaper than a lot of these guys.
He's not cheaper than Rodri.
No. Rodri needs to prove it, but I think he almost assisted Haaland early. He gets that assist. All of a sudden, boom, Rodri's in the bonus. Boom, he's like, I don't know if he got defensive contribution or not. I think that game went weird, but like he's going to be getting those. Like he gets that and bonus, and he's like a 9.1 assist guy. It's like that's like why we like Bruno.
So yeah, here's a question. So I sort of toyed in my head is how essential is Haaland for you?
He's not essential, but the fixtures are so good, and he's returning, and I can afford him. And he's going to be highly captained because people don't like to captain 7 million players. Like Chris Wood blanks, and you're like, why the fuck did I captain this 7 million guy? Haaland blanks, it's like, yeah, he's a premium, good fixture. Can't blame myself. Had fucking like 7 shots yesterday. You know, one of them went in. He shit out a 9-pointer. Yeah, all 3 bonus, right? So it's like, dude, he could have had a hat trick in the first like 10 minutes yesterday, man. He could have. It was close.
I mean, he sounds essential to me because I think my thing with Man City is I know at the moment Reinders is the guy but he may fall out of favour, right? If he falls out of favour, we're not all going to be shocked, right? They're not quite clicking, but Haaland's still scoring goals. If Rodri gets back to his best, Haaland will get better. I mean,
that's going to happen too. Like Reinders and Cherky, who I think went off injured. These guys are all going to start like figuring it out as a unit too. Here's my way of answering it, dude. Who can't you buy in this game owning both Haaland and Mo? The answer is you can buy anyone you want still. The game has made it so you can go cheap D, you can go 5 mids and get whoever you want. I've got Mo and Haaland and João Pedro and can buy whoever else I want.
But that works in the world. That works in a world where Palmer, Saka, Isak are not becoming essential players.
Still get Isak or Palmer. I'm not going to have 5 fucking premiums, obviously, but I can have Haaland, no problem. If Isak breaks out, then Mo's probably not going to like. It's probably more of a Mo or Isak world. Like if Isak becomes this beast, it's probably going to be at the expense to some degree of Mo. Not, you know what I mean? Like it's so. To be they could both have good games together and stuff, but at those prices, only one of them is going to be the alpha. It's going to rely mostly on pens to me or whatever. It's not going to be at the expense of Haaland. It's going to be at the expense of one or the other of those two. And then with Palmer, I'm sorry, man, but this guy has 1 fucking goal in like 20 games. Not talking about Palmer anymore until that changes. It's not someone that I need to even be remotely worried about. He fucking sucks for like 6 months. He had a good game against PSG. Cool. They fucking like surprised them, and both of his goals were that low left side roll in that like no doesn't always go in, man. Like I don't know what it is. Palmer is not a fucking premium. Period. Until things change.
Well, the other thing with Palmer now is
not getting Palmer in. Sorry,
you've now got João Pedro as an alternative,
exactly.
and I think that makes a difference.
He's being better. João Pedro had a better World Cup.
Well, I guess the question then is if Saka becomes the essential guy, but then if Eze starts firing or Gyökeres starts firing, but the issue. So I think
there is I'm scared of not owning those.
But if you play all those through, the only player that doesn't have a really good alternative is Haaland. Or potential alternative is Haaland.
And Mo until proven otherwise. Saka's already like, well, Gio looked pretty fucking good. Eze's there now, like you say. Saka's also injury prone as fuck now. It's becoming like a thing, unfortunately. Like, I think we're at a point with Saka where it's like, guy's injury prone, though. Gotta be aware. He's probably gonna get injured, unfortunately, for FPL purposes. Palmer's just like, dude, we're going on 20 games here, not 3. Being 4 games.
I think with Palmer, he's been
bro.
I think Palmer's been carrying an injury for far too long. But anyway, I'm very conscious of time here, Kev. I'm not. I can't say how long we've podded, but I feel like it's like an hour and a half or something. So we should rattle through the rest of these questions.
Phoenix, if wildcarding in game week 4, who would you target after first 3 game weeks? What does that mean? Like transfer them in later, or like you're targeting a longer term?
Is this my time to read you through what my wildcard team is, and then
you take this one?
Of course, my whole thing freezes as I go to do that. Of course, it does. So, in goal, I have Pope and Dubravka. I mean, Dubravka is the most obvious goalkeeper in the world to have. I already mentioned Pope. I'm not necessarily nailed on Pope, but I kind of want a unit of Newcastle defence, and it's hard to get them all in. I then have something that's different to how Kev's thinking of the world.
Good.
I have 3 £5.5 million defenders who I'll start every week.
Can I guess them? Besides
go.
Calafiori, Tarkowski. I can't even think who else is 5.5. Please don't be Pedro Porro. Or is it Pedro Porro? Good. Okay, who is it?
Renault's.
Oh yeah. Okay, good pick.
So I kind of got attracted because he got the C bit yesterday. Plus he's the attacking guy, as you say. So I kind of see them as maybe the best. I've actually got Timber, not Calafiori, but it could be either, right? I've decided, as you can tell from it. And then, so this is my sort of my 3-3-3 thing. So at the moment, I have 2 £4.5 million mid defenders. I have Guéhi and Tosin, which is not a surprise based on what we've already discussed. I just think that if they both nailed, they are absolute gifts. And I think I would pay the $500,000 for them over any of the 4 million at this stage.
I would. I find that interesting because you're going to just have these guys on your. I would think that your debate is, are they like just so much better than the 4.0s, or are they just so much better than those 5.5s? That's more of the debate to me.
But I almost want to. I want to be in a position where, if Guéhi kicks off or Tosin, I can just get them straight. They're already there, and I can move one of the players and move.
But sorry, my thought is more like in a few weeks, once you start off, you've got all these options. I think what you'll end up doing is if Tosin and Guéhi end up becoming these like unreal picks, you're going to sell off Timber and Tarkowski and be like, fuck, we can easily get money here now to get Isak or whatever, right?
It gives you a bit of I mean, so I'm not saying I'll end up there, but the way Guéhi and Tosin, if it plays out as it looks like Guéhi's gone to Liverpool.
Yeah,
I don't think Chelsea are buying a centre back, but let's see if that is the case. Then I think I just go with those two. I just think it's worth it. And then in terms of midfield, I have gone for Salah. Surprise, surprise. I jumped on the Sarr bandwagon.
Okay,
because Grealish, of course. And then for the purpose of this one, I have Dewsbury Hall and King. So Dewsbury Hall, King, Guéhi, and Tosin are kind of like in the little rotation amongst themselves.
Yeah, King's undoubted number 1 fifth mid.
And then
the only way you could go different would be if you wanted to have 5 attacking mids and like 4.0 D in your format. Similar thing. But I like what you did more.
But coming back to what we talked about before, which is, the question is, so Grealish and Sarr would not have been in this team had it not been for the first 3 game weeks. So that's definitely influenced me there. Renault's has been influenced by what happened yesterday as much as anything else, just because he got the C bit. My only question mark over Palace is, as I just said at the start, with Guéhi leaving Palace, I'm worried that they won't get as many cleans, in which case he might fall. But if you remember, Renault's was a really good pick last season, even without anything else, because he was getting so many attacking returns.
Yeah, I actually looked at both Lacroix and Munoz, but we'll see.
I mean, Lacroix may end up being the better pick, but I mean, there is a world. What you're looking at getting both? You mean is what you meant?
Yeah,
both.
Yeah, I looked at both.
Yeah, I think it's a consideration.
That clean yesterday, that's a horror. It looks ugly as fuck, and you know what I mean. Like this, they just happened to clean yesterday, so we're even more elevatedly enamored by them.
And then João Pedro and Haaland, unsurprisingly. And then I've gone even Nielsen, which won't surprise you, Kev, because I like him.
Yeah.
But I mean, the other player I was looking at was Mateta. But then I was basically looking at Mateta versus Sarr, and I was like, Sarr is more of a talisman than Mateta, although Mateta's on pens, but obviously Sarr's a lot cheaper. So that's kind of where I was playing about with.
Nice. I like it.
I'd be really open though to finding the cheaper player than even Nielsen and making Dewsbury Hall like Rodri.
Well, it looks like Larsson stayed at Wolves, which hasn't hauled, but like has looked decent. I mean, it's 0.5 though. Like you need to get down to what's his face just signed. George just signed for Fulham from Chelsea. How much is he?
Don't know. How much is Visser? Is he 7.5
or something? It's too expensive. And they spent like 80 million on another guy. So
yeah, and he's in the game at 7. That guy.
Yeah. Because how much is George? Like actually, like I think he's gonna fucking play for Fulham. It's not gonna be like Gooey whatever, who's now back at Chelsea, by the way.
George. Can't find him. Have they already moved him to Chelsea? They can't have moved him already.
No. He's definitely got to be in the game, though. I mean, he's been there the whole time. He played the other day. Came on.
Where's he gone? Where's he going to? Fulham, do you say?
Fulham, yeah.
The game is never updated this quickly. I can't find him.
Just go to Chelsea then. Maybe he's not a forward.
I did. I went straight to Chelsea. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's a midfielder.
He is. He's a 4.9 midfielder. Ooh. Ooh. Douglas Luiz is another one where.
What's his name? Is it Hatter or something? What's his name?
George. His first name is Tyreek. He's just gone to Fulham.
Oh, right. Yeah. So I found him now. Sorry.
He's definitely going to be playing in Fulham. I wonder if that hurts.
That's interesting. Okay, that could be an alternative to Dewsbury Hall as part of my little rotation.
But then you're going to have King and him on the same team. So that'll be. I think he's.
Oh yeah, not thought about that.
I think Louise is the most interesting 5 million now, but we just haven't seen him play yet. And like I actually clicked on him and went through all his Juventus SofaScore stuff, and like the guy just came on as a sub. So like when he was at Villa, he was a really good fit for a bit.
He was on corners and he was on pens as well.
I don't know what's gonna. He's not gonna take pens off Chris Wood, is he? Like I don't even know if he'll take corners off of Anderson or not. Very much a wait and see. But like if you're like maybe not for wild card game week 4, but in the future, like there's definitely fucking picks, man. Like cheap picks. Anyway, next question. Yeah. I like the wild card.
If we don't have Mo, is he essential for game week 4? That's Sandy's question.
I think you're
close to essential because he's a
team apart to get him, man. Like, but yeah, probably.
He's going to be a captain favorite, isn't he? For next 2 game weeks, I would say.
I think you see more and more teams that have Mo and Holland, dude. So like whenever they have a fucking Burnley, you can just be shitting yourselves not having Mo and Holland.
The thing we haven't said about Mo and Isak is Isak should improve Mo.
Yeah, but this game week 4, Isak's probably not even going to play. I mean, maybe he plays, but like this week, Mo is just going to be Mo.
Yeah, but my point is, but Isak should get some minutes in 4. He might even start in 5. You just, there's potential, right? And then suddenly Mo's got a better striker to score goals off, so he's going to improve his assists.
Right.
So I think it makes. That's the other thing about Isak is he can make Mo a better player. And he could, but you say if he's still the alpha, then maybe Anyway, yeah. We've talked about that enough already. But I think Mo is close to essential next 2 game weeks in the sense of captain favorite, which is why I'd struggle to go Isak and not Mo on my wild card, because I think you're not just gambling on Isak doing really well; you're gambling against the captain favorite for the next 2 game weeks.
Okay.
Next,
Maddie.
He's asking about his team.
Well, at least he's asked questions here. He hasn't just said like RMT.
If I've Rodgers out, I think I'm sure we had a similar question last week, and maybe it wasn't from Matty, but I think then we said we'd sell Rodgers over Watkins. I'm still of that same mindset. I'm still a believer in Rodgers as a player, and particularly now that Villa have bought some other midfielders, I think that potentially puts Rodgers at some form of risk.
Me too.
There was.
Just over risk of being overpriced when these other guys are 5.5.
I mean, Watkins or Gyökeres, I wouldn't get Gyökeres for 3 weeks.
No. roll. I would keep Watkins and then move him to Gyökeres in game week 7. I think Rogers out to Grealish is just like super obvious here.
Yeah, that's the move to make. He doesn't have to wildcard with this team because he's got. I know he hasn't got Haaland, but he doesn't need Haaland until game week 6. That's when Haaland's got the Burnley home, and then I think he's got Everton home in game week 8. They're kind of Haaland's captain weeks.
He's got Richards and Porro on D too. Like you put one of those, you just put De Kuiper in this week. I don't know.
It's not I think Rogers to Grealish. That is, you don't have to wildcard with that team, in my view.
No, your forwards are fine.
Yeah,
Rogers to Grealish, that team looks good. All right, next.
Good.
Rob Cosgrove, how do you think Europe will affect teams this season, especially the ones new to the competition? Palace Sports playing Thursday to Sunday for the first time. Example, last season, Villa didn't win any of their Prem games after European game for months. My answer is Palace. That's why I put Lacroix on the fucking bench. And then they bossed Villa. So I think 10 games, 8, 9 out of 10. I think Europe's huge. I think it negatively impacts them. And then you get a game like what we just saw, where Villa are in such bad form, it didn't matter. So there's a lot of things that go into it. I do think Europe's a big deal. I think it becomes, I guess, maybe more of a big deal after like the first 2, 3, 4 game weeks of the season, because I guess these guys are all just so fresh still. It hasn't impacted Palace. But it will, man. It's got to. And they've sold Eze and they brought in this one winger, but I guess, I don't know. I just feel like, yeah, it's definitely going to negatively impact them. I think Forest have made some good signings. I mean, we haven't even seen Douglas Luiz play like we just said. We haven't really seen McAtee play yet. They've brought in some fullbacks. I mean, I think they've got like this cloud over them with Nuno and the ownership going on and the media.
That's not helpful.
No, it's not helpful, man. It's bugging them. So I think it's a bad thing for sure, and it's something to be aware of before you bring in a Forest or a Palace player. But right now, Palace look good enough, so I wouldn't worry about it. That's my answer.
Yeah, I think the two things I'd add to that are Palace are in the Conference League, which is a much easier competition.
Yeah,
and therefore they may be able to rotate more. They may be able to play if you remember last season, Chelsea played like a second team for the league phase. You remember Palmer wasn't even in it. So I think there's a chance that what I don't know is how deep Palace's squad is, right?
Yeah.
But Palace will have the easier games, which I think might make it easy for them. I think it's more of an impact on someone like a Forest, which is why you see them buying more players.
Yeah.
And then I think the secondary point is it's the rotation point, right? So I think, for example, Arsenal are going to rotate a lot more. The reason why we doubled up on pretty much every position, on all the positions we want to rotate between Champions League and Prem, and I could see us playing weaker team, our second string team, which is still a decent team, and some of our Premier League matches. You can see like an Odegaard or a Rice getting rests. I mean, obviously, maybe that's not quite true with all our players getting injured. But I think Liverpool might do something similar as well, because obviously Slot had a great season last year, but he will regret not getting further in the Champions League. That's his ambition this year on top of the Premier League. So I think you will just see a bit more rotation across the teams, and that's what happens when you get into Europe. And I guess that's just part and parcel, right? Which is why you want the guys that are 90-minute nailed, right?
Definitely, yeah.
But if you come back to the defenders again, your C-bit players are generally your central defenders. They will generally rotate less than your fullbacks, which is another reason why your central defenders get C-bit who play for European teams may be better picks for the season.
Right. Okay. Yeah. It's a problem.
And then Sean's got a final question here.
Do you see Isak as 80-plus minutes a game, or will there be greater rotation now, like with Jota Darwin? I think he'll get 80 minutes and be rotated around that number, and I think the risk is definitely going to be Gakpo and Ekiteke in terms of rotation, and Verts. It's going to be like Mo. I think At this point, I think Mo is still the alpha dog. It's his team, 90 minutes, pens and everything. And like, yeah, he's had an ugly start to the season or whatever, relatively speaking for him, but he's still gonna fucking go bananas this season. As Isak helps him. Then I see Isak is the next best pick, but significantly less than Mo, as is currently, and not worth 10.5 million. I mean, when Jota and Darwin were rotating and stuff, and Luis Diaz, did you have those guys in your team all year? No, because the rotation was a pain in the ass, and they weren't on pens, and they were priced at like 7. So 10.5, and he's a forward, which is less appealing. So like, he would have to be putting up 80s before I would even entertain him. But I personally do think, I think he's going to be more like when he's going to be like Gyökeres with a healthy Havertz, where he's going to be coming off at like 70, 80 for Ekateki or something. That's how I view
it. I guess as we've been talking through this in the pod, it has reflected that João Pedro is absolutely nailed. That was an earlier question, right? For me, he's in the team. Even when Palmer's back, I'm having Pedro. I just think he's the main guy there, particularly now that Thiemegy got injured. Who's the guy they bought from Ipswich? Delap. Delap's injured, isn't he? Yeah. He's out for 2 months. So for me, Pedro's the number one striker there, right?
Yeah.
If Haaland gets back to his best, and Man City, as you say, get better with Rodri and the players clicking, then you've already used your two striker spots. Might be really hard not to have.
Yeah.
Then so you're then saying, is Isak better than Gyökeres at 1.5 million cheaper, who is the talisman, who's the out and out forward on pens for Arsenal, or is he better than Mateta, Woods, even Nielsen? There's a whole load of cheaper players.
Yeah.
He's going to have to massively outscore those guys, and most of those players I mentioned, I think all three of them all on pens, right? Gyökeres, Mateta, even Nielsen. Strand Larsen 6.5. That's 4 million cheaper, isn't it? The Newcastle guys, this Newcastle guy 7 million. If ironically, the guy from Newcastle might outscore him now, right? So it's.
You don't think? I guess I think they all know how we feel about Isak as a pick right now. But like, do you think he's nailed or not? Or do you think he's nailed? You rotated? I think he's nailed. Luis Diaz. I think he's going to be more rotated than them, but he's not going to be 90.
He's not going to be 90. I don't think he'll be 90 because he wasn't even 90 at Newcastle,
right,
because he gets his little niggles, and then. As I said, I think I could see him playing more 90 in Champions League than I can in the Premier League. I think he's as much there to help them win the Champions League.
Fair enough. That's it, bud.
Right. That was a very long pod, but you got loads of time to listen to it. We've got a couple of weeks before we're back. And Kev, we might pod next weekend or something. And
maybe I'm allowed to after this. Fuck.
Yeah.
It's like noon, like 9. I came down here.
Oh dear. Right. And I've only had 3 phone calls from the family during the pod, so I better go in and check everyone's all right. All right.
All right, bro.
Cheers, man. Catch you later.